Guardian down.
Man Goomba'd me. Why is there such a weird sound whenever you pull out the Eager Edge swords? No, yes. Sorry, it always depends on how we look at it perspective-wise, so that's why I always, like, debate whenever direction. I would say 3 runner since it's what we usually do. You know, don't want to teach something that we don't do, because then we just have to reteach it later. I could take right since I know it's a difficult spot. Show clip. It's so cute hearing New Lights talk about what weapons are stinky. I remember Lee did the same thing with bows. There was SMGs. I can't remember which one it was. It was either something fast firing or something slow firing. What did Sam complain about? Not Kona, so yours. The one we usually talk about. The idiot Sam. Hey, me too. So technically, still confuse people. Well, no, not when Sam's the name. Anywho, question has not been answered. Okay. Almost. Almost. Almost! No, he did. I know he did. So close. Oh my god. Alright, I'm ready, by the way. Bye. Yep. I grabbed it as soon as I got here. We've all blown ourselves up.
Guardian down.
I gotcha. Maybe we should have the two new people not on the same side? Like if we wipe, I mean. Yeah, but Death also has played the game before. So he has a little bit more experience of King's Fall.
Guardian down.
Well, did have a res. Hiya! I want Misty Step. It would be so complicated, but it'd be so fun. Ready. Oh, I thought I was counting. I thought I counted 5. I might have counted 4. Because I know that I would have been 4th or 5th, so I thought I counted right. That might be my bad. Whoops. Took it. Go. Barely got any fucking kills. Oh, I'm a dumbass. I'm gonna take off Death Dragon's Breath. That's the last time I used Dragon's Breath. Alright, what are you at, Micah? Okay, there you go, bye. Dude, strand grapple in this encounter is so unfair. Holy crap, there's so many orbs here and I picked them all up. What for? Armor charge? Interesting. Yes. Wait, I didn't grab the branch, fuck!
Guardian down.
Okay, I'm coming. Yep, there you go. Yep, I'm leaving. Whew. Go get that Micah. Oh, that was scary. Sorry about that, boys.
Guardian down.
I got you. I've got the thing too, so don't worry. Get out of here, Micah. Comeback Kings on the same side. Thank God. Coolio. Oh my God, what the fuck? Get the fuck out of here, Knight. How did... That makes no sense. Oh, I know why. I picked up a Tangle instead. That's why I thought I had the fucker. I should have realized that that was already wrong because I was third person. Go. Yeah, we'll be fine now. We should be good. Nobody needs to know that. Oh God, War Priest is next. Quillums, interesting. I want to be Div. Huh? Oh! Oh yeah, rockets are pretty good. Okay, yeah, I'll do tractor then. That works way better. I'm a Titan, so. Yes. It's 25% on everything. Vorpal is 10% on heavies, 15 on special, and 20 on primary. So yeah. Okay. Sounds good to us. And I'm tractor. Best rocket besides Galahorn is, I think, what he meant. Yeah, the meditate's a little odd. Like, at first it was cool, but the fact that you do it every time... Like, oh, I bought one fragment. Meditate. If for me, I can just understand it for a first time, even if it's a first time per subclass. It's just when it's like, oh, hey, I bought a fragment. Meditate. Someone's firing word of Crota. Oh my god! I can help with this in a second. I know when we used to this, we had div, and we had the div user all on their lone in the middle, but since we no longer have the div person, we could also just do 2, 2, and 2. Okay. Well, also, as far as roles go, I know since I'm the tractor that technically it'd be the same thing as div, so just staying in middle and not doing knights, but considering my loadout is also double special and berserker, I am kind of fine with doing knights, and it might actually be more beneficial, because I could just tractor the boss and then wait, tractor him again, dip and kill my knight, and then tractor. Well, no, I'm just talking about for the knights. Like, if I'm not... No, I know, so then I wouldn't be niddle. Or niddle. Middle, is what I mean. Because like I said, usually with div they would be middle, but since we're not doing div, I don't feel like there needs to be an exclusive person for middle anymore like we did with div before. I guess, like, well, we're doing rockets, so where are we doing damage? Like, the same places as before? Oh, just right and left? Okay, so we're not even... Yeah. So that's fine. I think, yeah, I could probably still do knights then, because if it's left or right, all I have to do is run up on War Priest, tractor him, and then go to my knight. So, I'll do that, and I'll try to get the last knight if possible. If I can't, then it's not the biggest deal, because I have Eremite on, but I'll use Swordbreaker for the knights. Probably don't want to run Strand now I think about it, though, considering we're going to be doing range damage. So, actually, at that case, I might not even want to run Swordbreaker. Yeah. Okay, I'll do double spec still, but I will switch off of that and go back to solar. Yeah, that was funny. I could barely hear the audio because of Discord, but goddamn, that was funny. Of all the people's Raptor. That's what made me laugh the most, because your Lego world. Also, I found one thing that your world wasn't exactly lucky on. You are surrounded by 3 caves, which is great. However, there are actually different version caves, which makes sense since there's different loot in them. There's the desert one, which I find hilarious, because your cave that's next to the desert is literally right next to it. If it were just a few places closer north, it would have been a desert cave as well, and you would have been, like, uber set. But either way, you're still lucky as fuck anyway. The winter biome is fairly close by, it's just a long hike, so you'll probably want to, or, I don't know, but maybe would want to make a village as soon as you get there. It all depends. And then, you still have the desert biome quite literally next to home and spawn, and then a bunch of caves, so you're still pretty damn set, if you ask me. I will say, though, my world... Yeah, it's complicated. It's, well, not really. It's Lego survival, so it's basically, imagine Lego Minecraft in Fortnite. That's the simplest way I could put it. But, my world's actually a little bit luckier after looking at yours and then looking back on mine, because I'm next to the winter biome, and you can get, kind of like out in the desert and all the other places, you can get berries or chili peppers. In the winter biome, you can get the snowberries off of bushes. So, I can literally farm for those that way if I wanted to. I just don't, because that's a decent walk and in freezing cold weather. But I do have the biome next to me, so... Although I don't have the desert, I have that. Not exactly the most helpful, though, considering the fact that the desert is the next place to go. I'm curious if there's other biomes or tiers to it, though, because I know there's an oasis-type area as well. I don't know if it counts as its own biome, though, or if it's just bunched in with the desert. I'll have to check. Kinda hope it's its own biome. Because otherwise I feel like the game, after you get the rhythm down enough, would be a little too easy to, like, complete to some degree. Oh, and also, another thing, if you want, like, passive XP, dude, just load into Lego and go AFK next to your villagers' beds at night and let them kill a bunch of skeletons for you and just let the day go on, and occasionally check back in and, like, craft stuff. Put stuff in machinery and all that to have it, like, change to other materials and collect stuff, garden, whatnot, during the day, and once it's night, just go AFK. Or just continue to go AFK if you get it all done before it changes time. I've literally gotten, like, 5 to 6 level ups per day just by going AFK in Lego on my phone. It's so dumb. I'll just literally be watching memes and I'll get 5 level ups. So, it's pretty damn nice. Alright, granted, I still like my death run, but I'll take 5 to 6 levels for watching memes over a 30-minute death run each day for 2. It's like getting paid to do nothing. Plus, what's nice for you, Booth, is you literally could do that while still playing games. Because now that you play PC, you could do that on PS5 for Fortnite, and then go play games on PC. Oh, well then yeah, you can do that. You could literally farm XP right now if you wanted to then, technically at that rate. Damn, I might actually do that. I mean, I'm not too busy nowadays, or like, too adamant, on like a bunch of gaming and whatnot, but I actually might do that on the days that I do decide to do some heavy gaming. Just load up my PC and load up Fortnite. God damn. That happens to me all the time. All the time. All the time. Give me one moment. I'm on right, but no. That's true. I mean, I can do middle, but then I can't do the night. Well, I can, it's just random. No, I can't, yeah, because it's random chance. If I'm not doing reading and whatnot, then yeah, sure, I'll do left night. Because then that means there's 2 night jobs, 3 reading plate jobs, and then there's just 1 floater, which would probably be Alexis. Uh, 7:36, hot damn. Yeah, 7:36 EST. Okay. Aren't we all? Ah, these drums. I missed these drums. Because you don't have your fucking music on! Beat his ass. Keep in mind, I do need a couple of kills to get my Eremite up. That's good. Where'd my hammer go? Oh, wow, it went all the way up here. Hot damn. Alright, my Eremite's full. I am, and so is Jacob, probably. Alright. Somebody save the new light. There we go. What? Glyph sequence broken, that's not good. Oh, Lord. Well, no, we're fucked. That's 3 sequences broken.
Guardian down.
Yeah. What? I said off the bat that I was the left knight. Or wait, no, I may have answered that to Ronan when he asked. What from the clan? Oh, okay. I don't know who, but okay. Ronan volunteers to help. Kicked. No wonder this fucking clan is falling to shreds every time someone does take initiative. And then I need to get pissed off that nobody's ready.
Guardian down.
I'm sorry, if he told us to solo Grandmasters, I would have told him to fuck himself. Quite simple as that. I can't believe I forgot to play Crucible and Gambit to get an extra Ascendant thing and whatnot for Gilded Starbreaker. Deathbat, did you get on? Yeah, you gotta get off, Ronan. Yeah, see, Glyph sequence started. You have to get off. It took too long is why it glowed red that time. Okay, get off. Now let him go on. There we go. And then... Okay, right side, Deathbat. Keep counting. Zero. That was my favorite. Go left side. Left. Ooh, we're gonna have only 2. I thought we were gonna have half. If it makes you feel any better, I forgot that was even a mechanic until the brand ran out, and I'm like, oh shit, guys left now. No, there's no Aeons. None of us have run this in a while, so oops. I could probably run it, now I think about it, but I could also probably run Pyrogale. It's too late for that. My bad. I don't have the things on right now. It's... Okay, I could switch now, I guess. Boop. Glyph sequence starting.
Guardian down.
Oh, God. That's a wipe. Oh, my place doesn't work. They got rid of the bottom. I'm a dumbass. Oh, wow, I got the heliocentric with Demo Frenzy. Probably never gonna use it, though. Honestly... Hold on. What? Okay, thank you. Sorry. Things are hectic. The order goes 15, 12, and 9 per second, so it's technically 36 seconds total, but that's only if you, like, mid-max the fuck out of it, which most teams can't. So, usually it's like 3 off of each, so it's like around 27 seconds for total damage. But yeah, Jacob seems to be the only Warlock, I think. Yeah, I agree. I wasn't paying attention to classes. That's why I wasn't aware of it, so he should probably... That's actually, yeah, that's great. That works great. Yep. Yep. It's not that people avoid it like the plague exactly. It's whenever we do King's Fall that it's like we either have well, it shouldn't be a surprise ever that I'm a Titan. I'll get that out of the way. But second, as far as King's Fall goes, my history of it in memory is every raid we either have the issue of too many Warlocks, and then there's never enough for the repeating, or it's the reverse. And then it's always fucked. And then when we do have Titans, none of them decide to use Sentinel, so then, yeah. At least for King's Fall, especially. Because King's Fall, it's like, always screwed. I would probably say, if possible, Deathbat, if you could run Sentinel Titan, specifically the Banner Shield, it would probably help just due to the fact that we have only one Warlock. You don't have to, but it would help. Because we only get one Rift and then one Warlock well. What's going on? Oh, you're talking to Alexis. Okay. But yeah, Deathbat, switch to Sentinel Titan. If you have Ursa's, that helps. Because it will get your super back for taking damage. Well, there's no fixing and remedying that now. Yep. You can run Doomfangs if you want, but Ursa's will be better for super regen. Don't worry about it too much if you don't have it. You really only need the Sentinel Shield up for as long as Booth's well is either up or down. Is he a Titan? Oh, you're talking about Aeons. I thought you were talking about the Sentinel thing. I didn't hear Aeons mentioned at all, so that's why I was confused. I can run Aeons as well. Somebody needs to remind me to switch back to my Ursas before I go burning Maul style. What did I say before? Oh, yeah. See, as long as you guys understand what I'm saying, though, that's what matters. But yeah, I did mean, Fire Gales. No, I get you. I'm just saying at least you guys understand what the hell I'm saying. I love that Envious feels faster with special weapons for kills. Literally just 3 kills with my Riptide and boom, full Eremite as long as I'm not rocking reserves. Boop. Boop. Hello, wizard. I need you to get low. Get low! Do the limbo. Whatever the fuck. Special. Not heavy. But yeah. Not now! Its sequence is broken! Oh god, it's mine. Oh, he pushed me. Move towards me, Jacob. Or someone. Oh. Oh, I didn't switch my thing. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4. I'm counting. 3, 2, 1. I'm moving left. Sorry, I just didn't hear a count at all. I'm just like, I'm moving when I... Yeah, that's why we need a count. It's funny how you spaced for yourself, but then when I had it was kind of, you're like, you need to count. I was counting! You were asking for the count while I was counting! Oh my god. Oh, Jesus Christ. Yep. No one reminded me to switch to Pyrogale. There we go. Thank you. It's fine. I just hope I have super. Ugh. Gotta find the Orbeez. There's the Orbeez. Or War Priest, stop. Asshole. Oh, the fucking thing kills you. I forgot about that. Deathback. Oh no, the knight's on left. Whoever has the thing has to, like, run to me. I'm coming now. Run to me! Run forward! Run forward! Run forward! Oh my god. Dude. No, just fucking wipe. I'm not trying to be rude, but there definitely needs to be comms, like, more important in terms of when damage phase and stuff like that's happening. I hate to sound like a elitist or someone stingy on shit, but War Priest is demanding. If you're not on point, shit like that happens. Since I died, and admittedly that was my fault, I take full responsibility for not remembering that the fucking dumbass Blight insta-kills you if you jump in the air. But, you know, when shit like that happens, I don't have grapple, I don't have eager edge, I don't have a way to get to you quick, so if I say run forward, you run forward. Otherwise, everybody dies. So don't worry, it's nothing on you. It's mostly on me, if anything, for not remembering the Blight. I should have just gone around. Well, yeah, but it was also kind of last second. Once I saw you running forward, that's kind of when you died. Either way, the details don't matter. We'll get back into it, and we know that now, so... Just think about it this way. If the knight spawns opposite, so like if I'm getting the first knight, and you're the one with the relic, deathbot, that means that it's a longer trip for me to make it to you, so most likely you'll have to be closer or prepare to run towards me. Not always, but, you know, it depends. Damn it, my sunspots are killing everything. What is? I want everyone to get exotics when we do anything. And I'm not wearing the fucking Aeons. No, don't kill them! Oh, damn it. Okay, I should be good now. No, I need one more kill. Acolyte, you're my victim. Touch. Ugh, stop picking up orbs. Yeah, don't forget the count. Oh my god. Are you serious? No, the damage wasn't over. My Pyrogale... I'm so mad, dude. I got bumped by... You got immune because my... I don't even know how to explain it. Pyrogale went down. Yeah, exactly. I got bopped, so instead of doing Pyrogale on the boss, I did Pyrogale on the floor. Thank you. Oh my god, that pisses me off beyond belief. What happened? Yo. Stop dodging my hammer! Stand still! Little miscreants. No Aeons. Got kills. Oops. Ugh, pisses me off so beyond belief. I'm getting orbs too. Fuck's sake, dude. Alright, went a little bit forward. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. With a little bit more perfecting, it could definitely be a 2-phase. Yeah, it's not the biggest change in the world. If anything, it's easier. I hate the fucking wizards. Come on, get down, get down. Oh my god, stop hitting me. Stop hitting me. Yo, get finishable. And then you, get finishable. Heavy ammo should be on left side. Aeon, sponsored by Aeons. Sponsored by Aeons. I don't have my hammer anymore. Where did it go? No! Aww. The most disappointing sound in the world, hearing your hammer blow up. Dude, I have no special ammo, Jesus. Uh-oh. The sequence is broken. Chill. We're good. I should have just stayed there and did damage, actually. With how much damage we were doing. Oh well. Smite of Moraine? Ooh, what roll? Demo for... Hmm? Damn! I mean, that's still not bad. Demo Adrenaline Junkie would have been an edge better, and then Demo Firefly would have been cream of the crop. At least of my opinion. Yeah. It's not even that it's big, it's just that... I mean, it is big, but it's also that it's just so demanding. Yeah, that's the thing. What was the reason for King's Fall again? Out of all of them, I mean, granted, I am having degree fun. Ah, that's why. I wish the exotics were pinnacles for playlist. Like, I don't know why they couldn't have just mixed the two, just done pinnacle exotics. No, but God, that was so annoying. I literally got pushed into this tiniest corner, like, wait, honestly, who's still here to see it? Nobody. 2 people. Eh, okay. Okie doke. I mean, we don't have to wait in the raid, but it does technically. Sounds good. So what? Only we need the CP. The checkpoint. Damn it. Ever since Sam said that shit, well, yeah. We can if you kick them, though, right? Yeah, I was about to say I'd be kind of confused. Yeah, we're gonna pick it up. I mean, you can either leave or you can go forward with us to get the checkpoint. The door opens when all the teammates are there, so... Yeah, and if you don't know how to navigate the maze, it'd probably be easier to leave as well, but... I don't know. I mean, worst case scenario, if you want the checkpoint that badly, I'm not sure for what reason, considering we'd all be doing the raid together anyways later tonight, but if you want it that badly, you'd just join back up on us, but I think you're going the right way from the looks of it. What'd they say? Ah! Well, you see, here's the thing. Brain went side rail track thing. Here's the thing, you mentioned the best time, and they answered the best time, but they also, you gotta remember, they answered the best time based off of their thought process, their assumptions, and whatnot. It's not the same, like, if you gave me the question of what's the best time, I probably would have had a different time in mind, or different things in mind. Because you heard it from Baby himself. He said that, oh, I thought we could get it done in 2 hours. So, clearly, one, that was wrong, and then two, you know, that's why he selected, that's, at least in my mind, I would think, that's part of the reason why he selected the time that he did, because he thought that we could, so 6 would fine. If he didn't, he probably would have chosen something earlier. Huh? Yeah, I'm just kind of running around. Yeah, I mean, if you wanna, yeah. Kinda. I have 2 rockets of Dragon's Breath I plan to use. Oh my god. There's so many of you. Die! Holy crap, there's so many of you! Okay. Well, that was a fun Dragon's Breath. I mean, I don't disagree, but, you know, I guess it's just something to point out to them for next time then, you know? Because, I mean, like, personally for me, I don't know what the skill is exactly of Alexis, because I haven't been playing with her. Like, I'll imagine she's probably better than Sam, because man literally started playing this game off thinking you couldn't aim down sights, which is unbelievable. That's funny. I don't know why either, but that's great. Hey, yo, dumbass. But, oh, that's funny I say that, because, again, with Sam, I don't know what made... Like, I get that Bungie made Halo, but... What does that assume that just because they made Halo means every first-person shooter game they make must not have ADS? That logic does not make sense to me at all. But anyways, aside from Sam's skill, I feel like if I were to judge based off my friend's skill right now, who I would definitely say is already way better than Sam, and then, well, we'll just for simplicity's sake, regardless of whether it's true or not, say that she's on par with Alexis to some degree. I would probably not have said 2 hours would be enough for really any raid, unless it's one of the ones we know is the easier ones. Like, VOG, so long as we have people that know what they're doing for Gatekeeper and Atheon, I would say so. Brood of Nightmares, even though the mechanics are complex, I would be willing to make a bet on it. But King's Fall, Crota even, anything where everyone is reliant on a job? No. But, you know, again, everyone's going to have different assumptions and different things they think about, so, you know. It does. So, I mean, you know, I'm not sure what went in his head with 2 hours would be good, but all I know is Micah thought the 2 hours would work, and it didn't. Just simple as that, so. Just a lesson for next time when it comes to King's Fall in the future, or a different raid is all. Nothing else, really. Because I know for a fact this is not something I'd be teaching my friend. Not right off the bat. Granted, I guess it's not right off the bat for Alexis either, considering VOG, but still. I mean, yeah, but I wouldn't qualify that with a raid. At best, I would qualify that with maybe a like a low-tier GM. And even then, it's not really mechanic-based. Not heavily. I can't see the Tablet of Ruin. It's dark. Oh, wait. Or is that what the Tablet of Ruin does? Oh my gosh. That just shows you how many times we've not died to Tablet of Ruin, then, to the point where I didn't even know what the fuck that was. No, I know. No, I know, but that's exactly what I mean. I'd be really questioning you guys if somehow we managed to set off Tablet of Ruin that much to the point where I knew what that was. I'd be massively questioning it. Yeah, I know it was. I believe it. Still tractor for me, though. I'm happy that it's finally good in some places again. I saw someone one-phase Keitel in Duality, and they were the only Whisper. Their friend was a tractor. So it was a two-man. Granted, the guy also didn't miss a single headshot, so if you missed one headshot, you're probably slightly effed. But, yeah. Though I actually don't know if the guy with him did any damage. I can't remember whether he contributed or whether he just did tractor and made it a Whisper video. Even then, I know that the Whisper guy had the top damage regardless. So. That's heavy, bro. It's a heavy sniper rifle. Well, yeah, but it also wasn't even called a Whisper. You know what's funny? I was literally talking about that when doing, like, Destiny history with my friend, and I was telling them... Yeah, it was Black Spindle. I was telling them about that, and I told them about how, like, I was sad that they didn't return stuff like Hunger of Crota and Light of the Abyss, and I was even more sad and, like, dumbfounded that every time a poll popped out about which weapon would you want to return, everyone would vote the sniper, because I'm sitting there telling them they're all voting for something that... when it comes back, they'd be disappointed and sad because the perk it had was White Nail, and they're never gonna bring that back. Like the closest thing they could do if they brought back the sniper, because technically they did it with Last Wish, the closest thing they could have done is put it in their energy slot, probably made it solar or whatever the fuck they wanted to do with it, and then put on rewind rounds and 4 times the charm on it. That's probably the closest thing they could have done to make it like Whisper. And even then, it still wouldn't be Whisper. Though, I will admit, I would be kind of curious as to... Wait, no, that would be ass. Because the thing is, if you have 4 times on a heavy, you need appended mag or extended mag or backup mag as a mod in order to get a 4th bullet on high-impact snipers. So unless they changed its frame to rapid fire like Supremacy, which I already know people out the gate would hate because it wouldn't feel like the sniper anymore, the only other choice would be to make it adaptive so it can have 4 bullets by default. Because 4 times is what makes that whole chain happen. I doubt triple tap would be enough to have that and rewind rounds work as effectively. It'd still work, but it wouldn't be as many bullets in total. Because I know Supremacy can get up to, like, what, 60? I feel like it'd probably be 40 if it was triple tap. Granted, though, considering it's also a high impact, 40 probably would be enough, if I'm honest. It's half the fire rate. 72 versus 140, so... I'm not sure, but either way, that's the only way that it possibly would have held some semblance to what it was. And I still think people would probably still hate it. They'd still be like, where's Black Nail? And it's like, you're an idiot to think that that was coming back in the first place. It's not even that. It's not even that it's a D1 relic. It's a it's a pinnacle. Think of it like that. It's like Master of Arms. Like, it's not coming back. And even Master of Arms has a better chance of coming back than fucking Black Needle or whatever the hell it was. Black Nail. No, Black Hammer's the gun. White Nail. Yeah, sorry. But no, even Master of Arms stands a better chance of coming back to the game than fucking White Nail of all things. Exactly. What the hell insta-kill my fucking... Dude, I swear to God, Dragon's Breath is the most unhealthy rocket launcher for me to fucking use. Yeah, of course they would. I still remember deleting my Praetorian foil like a dumbass because someone told me, oh, that shit's not rare. Yeah, it was. Proves the gullibility of age. Yeah, funny enough, they did that with Light of the Abyss for me. The guys I did with Vogue did not do that for me with Praetorian foil. However, I always have liked fast-firing stuff as long as its damage is decent. So, you know. That's the only reason why I don't like 540 pulses, by the way, is because their damage isn't up there. I'm sad, dude. I'm even more sad because of us bringing up the whole Eremite thing, knowing damn well they probably would have done the same. Because they already had it in the works with Techian Foil. Techian was the first one to have controlled burst, not even Eremite. So it would have had controlled burst. It would have been awesome. And not only that, think about it this way too. It probably would have had Volt Shot, so it would have rotated out the one from Neomuna, because you would have been able to have Volt Shot Cursed Thrall on a fusion. Oh, I don't want to talk about Light of the Abyss anymore, dude. I'm so mad. The more we talk about it, the more pissed I get that they didn't bring it back. More pissed than the rocket. And the only reason why I get mad about the rocket not returning is because, one, that thing was just a nuclear bomb. And then, two, it's really just because of the element. That's the only reason I care. If they brought it back as an element for something we already have, like, if they brought it back as solar, I'd be pissed, because we have Apex. So, like, unless it was an aggressive frame, that literally would have been the biggest waste of time. But, no, if I'm honest, after talking about so much, Light of the Abyss trumps Hunger for me now. I'm so mad that I didn't bring it back. Yeah, you're all good, dude. I just want to know why 4 primaries. Like, they couldn't have just spared 1? At least with Wrath I could have understood because there was 5 primaries, technically. But I don't know why for Crota they decided to do the same thing. Like, I guess it's because they were all, like, fan favorites in people's eyes. That's the only thing I can think of. But it's just like, you know, at that rate, you could say that about everything. I mean, I'm mad the Atheons didn't come back, but I'm still happy with what did. So it's like, I don't know. It wouldn't have been worth it to me in terms of having too many primary weapons. It just wouldn't have been. Like, I'm happy with what we have in Vogue, is what I'm saying, compared to if they got rid of, let's say... If they got rid of Corrective Measure and... I'll give one I don't like Praedyths. So if they got rid of the Sniper and the Machine Gun for Atheons and the Pulse, I'd be pissed! Because, one, I'm not a big fan of Hez and Vengeance, if I'm honest. I really never was. And then... For the Shotgun... just don't really use it. So. Where's skip rounds? Oh, bruh. And it had crowd control, so it had Rampage. That's funny. I mean, Rampage isn't like the cream of the crop anymore, but that's still funny. Crowd control is ass compared to Rampage. It's literally half the damage buff. It's 15%. It's so bad. Dude, do you know how good Fabian's strategy would be in this environment, by the way? I was talking to that with my friend as well. Because, you know, if you put enough regular perks on one weapon, it might as well be exotic. And Fabian's strategy had Onslaught, Rampage, Surrounded, and Threat Detector on one auto rifle. Like, that's absurd. Because in this game, transferring those perks with Fabian, in this game, Surrounded is the highest damage perk to some degree, aside from like other niche ones like Golden Tricord and Multi-Kill. It's one of the highest damage perks. Rampage is one of the most generic, but it's still decent. Onslaught is the best DPS perk, beating most of the damage ones now. And then Threat Detector is just baller because it increases all your handling and reload speed along with their animation speeds. Like, having all of that on one weapon in D2's environment, that's way more worthy of an exotic than it was in D1, and it was already good in D1. And all classes would be able to use it. No, we already talked about that, no. I'm never stepping foot into PvP until they nerf Universal Remote twice if that shotgun comes back. Not unless they, like, annihilate it with the first nerf. Like, demolish it type nerf. Dude, I can't wait. Oh, I can't wait for One for Thrall. Oh, cannot wait for that. That's weird. I didn't remember that. That's weird. I really don't care about those two coming back. I always hear people flip out about them, and I'm just like, it's literally just a different element. I mean, it's not like I don't care, but I feel like there's other priorities on the list. Well, it would probably just have Scorching rounds, the thing. Which I wouldn't mind. If it just had Scorch, it would be the same as the Lightning rounds when you think about it. Plus, it would be nice because it would have solar synergy. You would be able to create sunspots just by shooting the fucking gun. Either that, or no, it probably would be volatile rounds because, you know, it would want to keep the theme of the lightning rounds. But that would still be good because, you know, it would... Well, I mean, I don't know, it really just procs volatile. It would probably need a bit of an upgrade, though, because Scorch and Ignition would definitely be better than just alone volatile. Maybe it has, like, an intrinsic repulsor brace to it as well. I could see that. Because then instead of Devour, you would have a 40 overshield. And that is the theme of Void, after all, even though Devour exists. I liked the design of it, Electric AK-47. You know, I wouldn't even mind if they brought back, Zalo. Well, no, I guess I kind of would. I was about to say I wouldn't mind if they brought it back, like, redone, like, as in not Arc, but Zalo was kind of themed around Arc and everything. They'd have to, like, they'd, like, literally, yeah, and it was blue. Even its ornaments were electric, but they'd have to, like, rework it to the point of the only recognizable thing about it is the fact that it looks like an AK. That's literally it. So yeah, never mind. It would still have to be Arc. Just trying to think of what the fuck they would do for it is all. Because there are three guns that do lightning strikes and chain reactions. I mean, hell, they have Centrifuge now too. How the hell are they gonna make an Arc Auto unique when Centrifuge is literally an Arc Auto? Yeah. I mean, honestly, I wouldn't mind if they just scrapped Centrifuge's look and just replaced it with Zalo someday. I wouldn't even care. I wouldn't turn an eye at all. But yeah, because, I mean, Risk Runner is basically Zalo, And then the auto rifle part is now belongs to Centrifuge, so it's like there's no aspect of it that would be unique except the fact that it's an electric AK. Like, my brain is scrambling to think of what they could do that's unique, but the only verb perk is literally eddy current. So who the fuck's gonna give a fuck about faster reload? Blinding is literally what Centrifuge does in the form of dragonfly explosions without a headshot. Risk Runner is chain reactions. Thunderlord is lightning. The only thing they could do is lightning strikes, because there's Cloud Strike, which is special, and then there's Thunderlord, which is heavy. The only thing they could do is lightning strikes instead of chain reaction, and even then, you still have to wonder what would it be useful for compared to Risk Runner and that, because Risk Runner also provides arc damage resist and infinite ammo while the buff is up. Centrifuge provides blinding and AoE explosions as long as you're running and mobile. Maybe like primary DPS, but even then that's not what they want primaries to do. There's like no way for them to bring it back, dude. Especially Bungie, because not to salt the wound, but they're not always on their creative game, especially after everything that's been this year with them. Makes me worried about what Red Death is gonna do. I mean, granted, since they have to... Well, no, I guess I'm not that worried, because it's a kinetic, so they have a lot of freedom with that gun, compared to, you know, Zalo. Because Zalo was made to be centered around arc, so not making it arc anymore... The only thing I could think that they could possibly do is make it stasis. Because I would say out of all the elements, stasis is probably the closest to arc in terms of retaining that. Because maybe what they could do is, instead of like the gun that has chill clip, you create, like, you can have headstone as a thing, but it's just on body shot. And instead what happens is, like, miniature crystals, or medium-sized ones even, pop out of the enemy, like a couple of them, so like 3, instead of just a headstone from a headshot. And then you can keep exploding those, and they all keep exploding into miniatures as well. So it's like a chain reaction effect. I think that would honestly be fun. Because enemies would create 3, but the crystals only, like the first one, because otherwise you could break the game, and that would be bad, would create 1. So that means you'd get 3 from an enemy, and then 3 from each crystal destroyed. So that's 6 crystals per enemy. I would say that'd be worth it. Out of that, or do the 3 crystals and there's no chain reaction afterwards, but along with the 3 crystals, you get cold snaps, kind of like how you do on Warlock, or ice flare bolts, I think it is. So, like, you get the spreading ice chain reactions. I could see that working as well. Like, that's the only thing I could think of, because trying to rework Zalo as an arc auto is just almost impossible. There's nothing it can do. The only thing I can think of off the bat is the lightning strikes, and then you have the problem of what does that make special about it, you know? Because otherwise it's literally just a glorified primary ammo Thunderlord, and then you ask yourself, what makes you use this over Centrifuge or Risk Runner? Because both guns can get you amplified. Hell, you literally need to be amplified to be using Centrifuge, like, efficiently if you have the Catalyst. Centrifuge blinds. Technically, there's no verbs with Risk Runner, but that's because of the infinite ammo part. So the only thing I could imagine them doing is combining Eddy Current and Volt Shot into a perk with Thunderlord's lightning strikes. But even then, I don't really feel like people would want a gun that's just centered off of reloading and killing a bunch. We already have that with Volt Shot primaries, so why do we need an exotic that does it but just a lightning strike instead of a chain reaction? Like, what's the difference? It pisses me off because I would love that to return in the baddest of ways, but it's just, we have it in the game already. And there's no way to rework it easily. I feel like the only way to rework it would be if it added more verbs to the subclasses later on. Because, I mean, Amplified, Blind, Jolt, what else is there? Ionic Traces, even then, a special does that. So, I mean, I guess, well, I guess technically, maybe that could work. Hold on. I mean, Cold Heart kind of does the same thing, but this, it's kind of hard to argue that Cloud Strike is not a special version of Thunderlord. So, maybe this is a primary version of Thunderlord and Cold Heart having a baby. Every time you get a lightning strike to cast, you get an Ionic Trace. That would work. What else is there? What am I missing? Ionic Trace, Blind, Amplified, Jolt. Is there only 4? Is there not 5 for Arc? If there's 5, then I'm definitely missing it. Amplified is a buff. I can hear you now. Oh, I didn't hear. Amplified, Blind, Jolted, shut up, Josh, Ionic. I think there's only 4 verbs. Interesting. There's 5 for Solar. There's Overshield, Invisibility, Volatile, Devour. I know I'm missing one. Weaken. So there's 5 for that. Stasis is Freeze, Frozen, Stasis Crystal, Stasis Shard, Shatter. And there might even be a 6th if I'm honest. No, there's just 5. And then Strand. Tangle, Sever, Woven Mail, Tangle, Sever, Woven Mail, Unravel, Suspend. So yeah, there's 5 for everything except Arc. They could literally make a new Arc verb. So, you know what? It's actually, no, it is possible then. They could literally make a new Arc verb and that auto is what introduces it, Zalo. I'm not sure what it would be, but there isn't 5. And if there is 5, then I didn't see it anywhere. And I have all the fragments and aspects. So I don't know how the fuck I wouldn't have it unless Titans are just fucked on the 5th one, which would be kind of fucking stupid if you ask me. So what would it be then? Because Ionic Traces are the best ability regen for the verbs. They do all 3. Blind is Blind. Amplified is Speed. And then Jolt is Chain Reaction, so... What do? Wouldn't be Healing. Wouldn't be... What if you went up to Zavala and one day he turned around, it's Rulk's head and it just was Rulk's theme? Yeah, I saw that as a meme. It was funny. Not the whole thing I explained, but I did see Rulk's head on Zavala. No, I can't. I mean, I imagined you probably were. But, Maybe, you know what? Hold on a second. If you could do me a favor and check Stasis and Strand while I check Solar and Void. How many buffs compared to debuffs are there? Scorch and Ignition are debuffs. Restoration's a buff. Huh? You go to your subclass and hover over stuff where it gives you all the info bits. No. Not unless your super can do all 5 verbs at once. Restoration, Radiant. So, Sunbreaker, or not Sunbreaker, Solar has 3 buffs and 2 debuffs. Void, Overshield. Devour is a buff. It should be at least, yes. Oh, Void Breach! Wow, so technically there's 6 then, for Solar and Void. Yeah, no, it is. So what were buffs and what were debuffs? Red is debuff, and then green is buff. So there's 2 buffs for Stasis and 3 for debuffs. For Solar, it's the opposite, 3 buffs and 2 debuffs. Well, actually, no. Sorry, 4 buffs and 2 debuffs, because I keep forgetting about Fire Sprites. So technically, they have 6. And then Void is the same at 4 and 2. So, I'm guessing you didn't check Strand yet. It does? Threadlings! I keep forgetting those fuckers exist. So they have 6. So Threadlings are a buff. Unravel's a debuff. Sever, Unravel. No, I know Tangle's one. Tangle's a buff, so Sever, Unravel. Why do I keep forgetting about Suspend? Yeah, so Suspend's a debuff, Unravel, and Sever, so that's 3. And then for, so Threadling, Tangle, Woven Mail, that's 3. So it's 3 and 3? Or am I missing one? Does it have 7? No, there's no way. Especially for the fucking new one, though I guess that would kind of explain why it's so cracked. No, I don't think it has 7. It has 6. So that's funny. So, Stasis has 5, because technically the shards were already their way of getting stuff, and Tangles were made with that in mind, which is probably why Strand has 6. Why the hell did Arc get fucked so bad then? Why does it have 4? Everything has 6 except Stasis and Arc doesn't even have 5. That's mean. Even if Solar and Void still have 5, that would still make Arc the lowest. Jolt, Ionic Trace, Amplified, and Blind. Those are the only 4. If there's something else, then I must have missed it, but I looked through... Yeah, Speed Boost is part of Amplified, so it doesn't count unless it's listed, which I don't think it lists it automatically. I think that's just in Amplified. Yeah, they changed that, remember. Lightning Strikes has never been a verb. Otherwise, that would have been, like, highlighted in blue on Thunderlord and Cloud Strike. Yeah, make a new verb. They could also just add, like, even if they added that, since it's already in the game, they could also add something, like, around it as well so that there's something unique to it. Whether it's something that's similar to Scorch, or whether they add something completely different. But no, they could literally make a new exotic that introduces 1 to 2 new verbs. And that could be Zali's or not Zali's, Zalo's rework. You know, part of me kind of wants to get a forum on that. Have a bunch of Final Shape already set and done, but like, there's also 5 months until it's there, so who's to say they couldn't add another exotic or something, you know? I sure as fuck wouldn't mind seeing Zalo return, especially with an arc buff. Plus, any hunter would be happy considering they're the ones getting a new arc super, so they'd be using it the most. I want to do that. And I don't really want to do anything on Bungie forums often, even report bugs like I should. Because I'm lazy. It's probably because of Ionic Traces doing everything, but I still don't know why it didn't at least have one extra verb that did something else. Because, again, even if you take out Fire Sprites and Void Breaches, it still has 4, and Solar and Void still have 5. And I'm going to be completely honest, Devour alone makes reason enough for Arc needing a 5th. I mean, literally, Void is supposed to be Overshield based, and it has Devour. And then Solar is Restoration, but it has Restoration and Cure. So, like, I feel like Arc needs... Like, I know Arc is supposed to just be about speed and high damage, but I still feel like it needs something that gives it an edge, especially since it's so behind in verbs. Honestly, I think the easiest solution would just be to add Thunder Strikes as one, so just to make them more detailed, which would probably inherently buff anything that does that, so Thunderlord and Cloud Strike, which no one would complain about. And then, as far as... Plus, it'd buff Chaos Reach probably, too. Even though they changed it from Lightning Strikes to Chaos... to Jolt, it's still technically... Oh, well, yeah, no, it still does that, it just adds Jolt. So, yeah, no, it would be a buff for Chaos Reach, too, then. It'd be a buff for Chaos Reach, Thunderlord, and Cloud Strike. It'd be a buff to 3 things if they just made the verb of Thunder Strikes. If it does, then they just separately nerf it again. They did it once before, and even then, it's still really good now, and nobody uses it for exponential stuff. Exactly. You gotta remember, there's a ton of stuff that's outshining it, even though it's still really good. So, they would have to make the verb Thunder Strikes insanely stupid. Like, stupid enough to the point where people would also be using Cloud Strike and Chaos Reach more often as well. So I'm not worried really about Thunderlord in that case. I believe it. I believe it. We always forget about it, but I totally believe it. That's why I used it during my solo dungeons. I used it for my solo dungeons with that exact purpose in mind. Get 20 stacks while they're immune, and then save it up. Because, I mean, especially if it's a flawless, if you fucking... Well, not even if it's flawless. If you die, you start over, so you can't die. You can't worry about that. Oh, that's foul. I would believe it. Especially if they, like, literally know exactly where you were. That reminds... You know, just that whole thing, just imagining that all I can imagine is Yor. I mean, I know you haven't watched Spy X Family, but if you have seen her assassin skills, you would understand. She's scary. She knocked a guy out with a button. Yes, from far away, like not a sniper rifle distance, but like here, just like stop fucking skating. Like, from right here. Knock the guy out with a singular button you would have on your shirt, like a polo. You just went through me, that was even funnier. But yeah, no, she knocked the fucker out with a button stone cold. It was hilarious. She's terrifying, and I love it. But, no, they could totally rework Zalos now. Granted, it's still one of the hardest reworks to do, but the easiest way to do it is by reworking something else. Adding a verb to Arc would be a great start. Even if they did only Thunder Strikes. I mean, granted, it wouldn't make it as unique because it'd still be kind of like a primary Coldheart Thunderlord mix, but think about it. They've made baby exotics all the time when they've combined stuff, you know? I mean, Cloud Strike was literally that. Cloud Strike was literally Thunderlord's baby. As a sniper rifle. Mm-hmm. So, like... Yeah, exactly. But that's what I mean. Like, they've made baby exotics before. Whether it's with one or with a mix, they've done it. So this wouldn't really be any different. The only difference is the fact that it was an old gun being reworked into a baby exotic now. Which still isn't a bad thing. And it would net them a whole new verb for Arc that people would like, because I think they could do something with Thunder Strikes. They probably don't even have to do it something similar to Solar, because otherwise they would need two, I would imagine, unless it works semi-differently or the same. Like, maybe instead it would be Thunder Strike, so it's like a combination of Scorch and Ignition, where, like, there's stacks for it, technically, on the enemy, and then once the stacks are gone, a Lightning Strike is summoned. But, you know, you could use it one of both ways, so it all depends on how they code it or how they worked it, of whether it would require two verbs or one. Because, I mean, technically Volatile is that. The only difference is you just proc it on an enemy and then shoot them enough until it explodes. Though, I guess that's... I guess depending on how they do it, if they did one perk or one verb, it would be similar to Volatile. If they did two, it'd be similar to Scorch and Ignition then. I'd probably rather them have it do something like Void Volatile then. Have it just be one verb. Make it simpler. See, the other thing is, though, if they were to do that, they would need a reason why. Because the thing is, that if they add Thunder Strikes as a verb, the only thing it's really getting is the fact that it has Arc Synergy. But just because it has Arc Synergy doesn't mean it actually synergizes. To kind of explain how that makes sense, because my wording probably didn't convey that well enough, a Volt Shot, for instance, doesn't really proc anything arc-related. Fragments that go with arc and stuff that deals arc damage does, but Volt Shot doesn't necessarily do that. Incandescent does because it actually has Scorch to it, and burn targets do a lot when you have certain fragments on, even when you ignite them. Jolt, on the other hand, doesn't really do that. The kills from Jolt do. So it would have to do something, because otherwise it's just adding another word to Arc rather than actually adding something that does something. Damn, game design's tough. I'm trying to think, let's see, what procs Jolt right now? What do we have? So, Aspect the Lightning... No, not Lightning. Oh, wait, no. Lightning Grenade grants an additional grenade charge and jolts targets hit by the first blast. Oh, I was wrong about the Storm Grenade with my friend. It was Lightning Grenade that had jolt. Whoops. Oh well, they got that quest done without needing it. Let's see, what else is there? Jolted, Spark of Instant. So, while critically wounded, taking damage emits bursts of damaging energy, arc energy that jolts targets. So, jolt by surround when critically wounded. I know there's jolting literally just for grenades. I still love arc Spark of Shock. The thing's just busted. I don't know why you wouldn't have that on almost every arc build. At least if overload champions are involved. I feel like it's just a default. Defeating a jolted target grants an ionic trace, so that doesn't necessarily help. Blind, amplified. Ballistic slam, seismic. I'm trying to think, what on earth would... You know, maybe what they could do? They could use Amplified as the Scorched, Booth. They could use Amplified as the Scorched, because instead of... Like, instead of how Scorch works, where it's on a target and has to get to 100 to proc an ignition, or Volatile has to be procced and then shot on a target and shooting them repetitively, kind of like how Jolt does when you think about it. So Volatile and Jolt are somewhat similar. It's just Jolt is more reaction-based and bigger. Volatile is on singular targets and has to be spread around yourself manually. But what they could do instead is have Scorch and Ignitions, but through Amplified and Thunderstrike. So, I'm not sure how it'd work, because we'd have to settle out that detail as well, but you would have to be Amplified in order to cause Thunderstrikes. You'd have to be charged with lightning energy in order to strike something. And maybe if you do, you also lose Amplified as a sacrifice. Or at least parts of it. So maybe what they could do with Amplified is, you know how it has a timer? Maybe instead of the timer, they give it a bar. Kind of like how they do with Centrifuge. So that bar goes down when you're not getting lightning kills, but it also goes down when you use Thunder Strikes. The only thing they'd have to sort out then is they'd have to figure out a way that lightning strike kills or damage don't, like, keep the amplified timer, because then it would just be an infinite chain, unless that's what they want. This is fun and complicated. I like it. I want to keep thinking about this, but I also need to, like, text some people back, because... been a while. Yeah, you told me this already. Jeez. You know, that's really weird that you say that, because I literally saw a meme with him riding like a dinosaur with lasers the other day. Oh my god! That's hilarious. Okay, so let's see. I'm trying to rack my... I'm literally thinking about it, because if we can get this finalized, I genuinely think this is something they could possibly take as an idea for Final Shape. Granted, I would want credit, but considering the fact that they weren't willing to credit Datto over the strike in D1, I highly doubt nobody's would. Or quote-unquote nobody's, but still. You could ask the same question about Meow Skulls. Let's be honest, dude. It's people. People want... When it comes to Rule 34 people, they want to fuck everything. Anyways, I'm trying to come up with something, because even if we don't get credit, I don't care as long as we get Zallies in the game, because we'll know we did it. Though we also could make a YouTube video on it. Yeah, I do. It's funny because it's just a bright light. It's like as if there's like a train that's just about to... Yep. There goes the Polar Express. Nah, but if we made a YouTube video on it, they'd literally have to do credit. But either way, aside from credit aside and caring about that yes or no aside, I'm still trying to think. Because I think we have something that's working and going, but we need to finalize it. Because obviously just giving them stepping stones for it isn't going to be enough, because they'll be like, cool, and then just get rid of it. Whereas if we give something of substance, I feel like they're willing to work with that, even if they don't use the fullest idea. Even if they reworked it completely, it'd be interesting enough for them to read, to want to humor it and try it themselves, you know? So... what are you thinking? Because I think the Amplified plus Thunder Strikes working as a similar way or method of Scorched Ignitions is a stepping stone. I'm just trying to figure out and rack my brain around how and what. Well, obviously you're not going to know, like, off the bat. Let's look at stuff. Let's look at the subclass, the exotics. Let's see what gets our brain jogging. It's not like we're doing anything anyways. Risk Runner, when taking arc damage, this weapon becomes more powerful and resists arc damage. Kills extend this over time. In an overcharged state, while Arc Conductor is active, you have a chance to... rounds have a chance to become Chain Lightning, return ammo, so... Okay. Centrifuge, where are you? There's also Delicate Tomb. Delicate Tomb is mainly just... No, wait! Collecting an Ionic Trace overcharges weapons next shot, jolting them. So never mind, it does have that as well. Centrifuge. Sprinting, firing the weapon, stack charge, increasing range, reload, high explosions, max cause blinding. Please send me whatever that is. Because the fact that it's that stupid, like, Sonic voiceover meme is already hilarious enough. The music makes it better. I still think my favorite one is the who posted my nudes on Twitter.com. That shit gets me dying every time I see that meme. Wait, where's Thunderlord? I'm an idiot. That's the one thing I didn't read. And Cloudstrike. Man, I really am a dumbass. So Lightning Strike stun on Thunderlord. Well, no, we know they could do more with Lightning Strikes. That's what we're thinking on. That's why I had the Amplified idea as a way to create them. So, like, Amplified being a version of Scorched, but rather than debuffing your enemy, you're buffing yourself. And then the Ignition is what we're trying to figure out how to proc, considering you're using a buff to proc a debuff, rather than a buff to cause a buff or a debuff to cause a debuff, like normal. It's counterintuitive, which is why it's so much more complicated. This weapon fires faster, blah blah blah, continuous damage, generates stunning lightning strikes. Okay, so yeah, the overload is intrinsic to the lightning, even though overload is also just on the gun, so that's a little odd. What's Thunderlord's caddy do again? Does it tell us here? Yes, it does. Causing lightning strike with this weapon partially reloads from reserves. Okay, but the catalyst can wait. Because if we don't have the fucking perks down, then there's no gun. There's no Zalo. Look up Zalo for me. Look up Zalo and let's see what that does. Because, I mean, obviously it's going to be similar to Lesto. Or, I'm an idiot. Risk Runner. But look it up and read it off for what it did. Let's see if it's exactly like Risk Runner. Or if there's... Yeah. I'm willing to bet it's exactly like Risk Runner, but look it up. Tell me what its perks are in terms of the special ones. Okay. Read it. Okay, so Chain Lightning is basically what Risk Runner is instead of a Thunder Strike. So the easiest change for that is change that to Chain, like to Thunder Strikes instead of Chain Lightning. As for the function, it could remain the same or it could remain similar or another way to proc it. And that is different. Enemies have to be close together. So it's like Surrounded, but... Well, no, it's like Ensemble, but for enemies. Okay. So Ensemble for enemies cause Thunder Strikes is another solution. Well, not really, exactly. We still need to figure out Thunder Strike being a verb, even if that's the play as well. Wait. I'm in... Hold on. Let me read something as well. Greg's Promise. Yeah, they did that with all sidearms because they were all, like, so low. Yeah, let's not give Zalo's aimbot, please. If they bring back Greg's Promise, fine. It's a sidearm. But let's not give an auto rifle aimbot. We don't need universal remote in the Crucible. We don't need the Vandal pulse rifle as an auto in the Crucible. Hell, we already have Osteo. I don't need to see something that does arc now. Because you already know that arc would be way scarier than the toxic butterflies. It's a perk! They literally... Here's the good news about Plan C, though. They could do anything with that shit. They could do anything. They could probably change the element, even. I mean, granted, sure, it was based off of speed, but considering they decided to turn it into a fucking perk, I'm pretty sure Plan C has no identity anymore. Okay, so... The thing I'm trying to figure out is what do Thunder Strikes do in Cause, because... It was. The thing I'm trying to figure out is what it would do, because if Thunder Strikes are a verb, I thought about it being what Zalo does, but the problem with that just means everything that's arc can technically cause Thunder Strikes then, and that's not healthy for the game environment. It would be fun, but super unhealthy. Well, if we had the restriction, if we kept my amplified idea, if we had that restriction of you need to be amplified, it could work better. The only issue is if there's any ways that you can become amplified not on arc. What ways are there to become amplified without being on arc? Really? I think that makes sense, but let me read it again. Let me read them both. This weapon energizes, draining, sustained damage. Final blows this weapon create loyal moth. They seek out and blind targets. Catalyst, weapon energized faster while amplified. Final blows with this weapon make you amplified. Yeah, it was the catalyst, so no. Centrifuge. Centrifuge. And even then, I wouldn't count an exotic only because the fact that, granted, that could actually be its catalyst. Catalyst could just be a carbon copy and paste off of X-Dirus to some degree. Sprinting gradually reloads. Okay, shitty version of transversive. Blinding. Yeah, no, so Centrifuge doesn't. So it's X-Dirus. So they could do something similar for the catalyst for that. It would be kind of a copy and paste, but they just have to figure out something else. Because for X-Dirus, I keep exiting the menu like I'm about to do something different when I'm running around, but I guess it's also because ADHD, so I like think better when I'm running. Weapons energize faster while amplified. So it's saying it does something better while amplified, and then it also can gain amplified doing this. So maybe the method of getting amplified is harder for the new weapon with the catalyst, but in turn it also gets a different type of perk to go along with it. So maybe it could be a combination of X-Dirus and Thunderlord. Maybe you get part of the ammo, because that is actually something Zalo did, is get ammo back. But that also might just be a part of the main perk. Yeah, this is kind of why we need to save the Catalyst for last. But we'll come back to that, because I think the Exderis is probably something that could be Catalyst related. As far as the ammo part of Thunderlord and Zalo, we'll come back to that. But for Thunder Strikes, I'm trying to think of how to proc that. Because if we think about it too generally, then it's too overpowered. Like, if we do what Zalo does, where it's like 3 enemies stand next to each other, you could literally have, like, Nation of the Beast from Last Wish with, like, Dragonfly and Volt Shot, and you could create the most insane chain reaction. Hell, actually, with that logic, fucking Risk Runner would be able to make Thunder Strikes. So what would be the point of the exotic then, you know? Like, it has to do something. Like, it's fine if Risk Runner can proc Thunder Strikes now, but it also has to do something to make it worth running the exotic. Like, it has to have better Thunder Strikes. Kind of like how, you know, if this buff came along, sure, Thunder Strikes would be on Risk Runner or Centrifuge now, but obviously Thunder Strikes from Thunderlord would still be, like, way better. So I think one thing to factor in is it would have to depend on the weapon. Thunder Strikes wouldn't be allowed to have their own damage, so it'd have to be like Volt Shot. Because Volt Shot on a linear does way more damage than Volt Shot on an SMG, for example. So it would have to work the exact same way as Volt Shot, where if it's on a heavy versus a primary, or even a super versus a special, just depending on the weapon type, it does damage based off of that, not off the perk itself. That would help balance it out to start. The only issue is, now you gotta compete with a Thunder Striking Risk Runner and Centrifuge. So what makes this exotic stand out with Thunder Strikes over those two? Not only that, but there's also still the issue of what procs Thunder Strike, which I think Amplified could do. No, actually, wait. It could be a mix of it. What path do you want to think on first? Do you want to go the path of Amplified doing something with Thunder Strike, or Thunder Strike doing something by itself like how Zalo worked, and then have Amplified function differently? Which path do you think will work by itself? Okay, so let's say Thunder Strike works by itself for now. It's the way that Thunder Strike procs is having like 3 enemies close by to each other, so it's like a static charge between them whenever you're shooting them. Well, no. As much as I want that, I'm trying to think, are there any perks that work proximity-based that are verbs? I don't think any of the buffs do. Not completely. There's Cure, Resto. Does Radiance? Or is that fragment-based? Let's read. Torches. Your weapons are enhanced by a power of the Traveler, deal increased damage. Yeah, no, that's just itself. It's not a AoE by itself. It's with fragments and stuff that it's an AoE for a buff. That probably, as much as I would like it to be by itself, I don't think it would be able to, just due to the fact that there's no way to really gauge whether it's working or not, aside from just seeing 3 enemies together. It'd be different if, like, maybe you were together with your allies, but then it's a verb that can't be used solo is the issue, which would already cause issues. Not unless, like, well, yeah, and then we're back to Amplified. Alright, so let's stick on the Amplified track instead, then. So you need to be Amplified in order to cause Thunder Strikes at all, first off. So, what then? Because I think the enemies next to each other could possibly work, whether it's for the weapon itself. Maybe that's what, maybe the closer enemies are grouped together, the more enemies there are around each other, the higher the damage of the Thunder Strikes. I think that could work. Because obviously if you have, like, let's say if we have like a Thunder Strike on, think about it in Crucible even. A Thunder Strike with Cloud Strike is easily able to kill 6 Guardians on 1 flag. But it's because they're all bunched together and it's a sniper rifle doing the job. Same as if Thunderlord got that Thunder Strike off. It would kill all of them with one strike, right? If they tuned the damage, I don't think even Jolt would be able to kill a whole group of Guardians together unless the Jolt activated twice or higher. Same with a Thunder Strike if they balanced out the damage versus the weapon types and the ammo types. So, thus, that would avoid getting collats on flags with stuff like SMGs that are just arc, which would also be nice, because god, that would be AIDS having Thunder Strikes running around that deal that much damage in Crucible. Fuck team-based objectives. So I think that could be its shtick then. The more enemies are packed up together, the higher the damage of your Thunder Strikes. And maybe it could work in tandem with teammates too, just to like kind of add it a little more. No, because then solo players still get kind of screwed. Though, are there any exotics that do work better with teammates? Like, to function that way? Technically, I guess actually there is. Lumina. If there's no teammates, there's no Lumina. I mean, let me make sure, but I'm pretty sure if you have Lumina, it does nothing solo. Kills this weapon leave behind remnants. Absorbing a remnant converts your hip-fired shot into an ally-seeking noble round. Yep. Using a noble round heals an ally, and it grants you both the damage. Yep, so Lumina is literally just an exotic hand cannon that does nothing if you're a solo player. So, easiest solution. They could make this a non-solo exotic, because, let's be honest, people run Risk Runner all the time for solo activities with a bunch of arc in it. I run Risk Runner all the time for solo activities with arc in it. Why? Because it's infinite ammo, chain reactions, and already an SMG, which is just a good type of weapon. And then, what's the thing? Oh yeah, how could I forget? Damage resist versus arc, the thing that you used to even proc it. So, honestly, instead of it being that, make it a team-based one then. Because Centrifuge is all about movement. If you have anywhere that's tight-spaced, too many enemies crowding you to where you can't move or sprint, then you're already fucked using Centrifuge, because it just won't work properly. It's also not great ammo-wise, even though the perk, you know, is meant to reload it when running. Transversives or Actium Warrig is still preferred on it, which is where hunters get screwed, because if they use their dodge to reload it, they lose their fucking ability for the gun. So, it's pretty much you're mobile or nothing. And then Risk Runner is just good in all areas. So maybe this is what would trump Risk Runner for team players. So, yeah, so let's actually go back to that idea then. Let's not even think about it as a solo thing, because honestly, you have Risk Runner, you have Thunderlord, and you have Cloud Strike. You're kind of set as a solo player with all three of those, even though you can only use one at your choice. So let's just work on it as a team-based one. And if we do that, we could probably even possibly have Ensemble worked in for an easy catalyst along with the Final Blows part of Amplified. So let's take in Zalo's old abilities again. The one thing it had, what was the first part of it again? Partial reload of ammo on double kills, and what else? Do you remember? Talking to you. Do you remember what Zalo was for its first ability? It was partial reload on ammo for double kills and something else. Because I know the second ability was Zalo Supercell, but that was the chain reactions. Arc projectiles have a chance to what? Super energy, that's what it was. So Thresh sucks. Let's just be honest. We all hate Thresh. Especially since now our damage is based off, or our super is based off of damage. And even though kills help, obviously, it's like we get our super back so fast from dealing damage. So how about instead of kills, we have it work like that, where every time a Thunderstrike is caused, you gain super energy from that, and the kills obviously will help, so it won't really need Thresh exactly. It'll have its own version of its built-in Thresh. And then the last part works great, because that already keeps Zalo's identity super well, except we just replace chain reactions, which is what Risk Runner does now, with a Thunderstrike. And yeah, sure, you could argue that's what Thunderlord does, so it's still not Zalo's identity, but go fuck yourself. But aside from that, because the only other way to really make it unique would be to have it be a Volt Shotgun, but legendaries do that. So, you know, the only way to really make it unique is by making it a Thunderlord to some degree. Plus, there's other things that use Jolt to their advantage as an exotic already, such as the Fusion Rifle. So, it's not like it would be the first one, so it wouldn't even be special even if we made it a Volt Shot exotic, because there's already stuff like that that exists too. So in all honesty, I'd rather just make a trio of Thunder Strikes, which would be, you know, that gun, Thunderlord, and Cloud Strike at that point. So anywho, back to that. So we've got that covered. So Amplified works in causing Thunder Strikes. And then this exotic specifically can cause Thunder Strikes when you're near allies or when enemies are next to each other, and based off that deals more damage. So thus, the highest damage Thunder Strike you could cause is 2 enemies in groups when you and your allies are in groups. So this thing would actually be kind of fire in GMs, when you think about it. That's funny. So yeah, this thing would actually be kind of nuts in terms of GMs, though, because if it works with in an ensemble way for enemies and on its own, that means that you would get a damage buff for, you know, being near your teammates and then being near your, or enemies being near each other. So have that stack to 2 at max, and those are maximum damage Thunder Strikes. Not sure what the scaling would be or the percentages, but if they did the max is 25% extra damage, the even would be 20 or 12.5. If they did max is 50, the 1 stack could be 25. Only thing I'm trying to think is if they did... Well, no, because if you need to be amplified to cause Thunder Strikes... No, actually, that could still work. I want your opinion on this. Do you think it would be fair that being amplified counts as a stack, even though that's how Thunder Strikes work to proc? The only reason why I ask is because this gun would also be able to proc Thunder Strikes without Amplified. It's just you would either have to be near allies, or you'd have to have enemies near each other. So, do you think that would be fair that Amplified is an entire stack on its own, or not fair because that's how the verb for Thunder Strike works? Okay, then if we do it that way, they could technically even do it with Rampage then. 11, 11, 11 for each stack until it's a max of 33. But either way, whether it's 3 or 2 stacks, it's a damage increase for the Thunder Strikes nonetheless. So, Zalo Supercell would still be the same ability then. Possibly with just some, like, addition of the, like, damage increase in the Thunder Strikes, but basically instead of it reading when enemies are close together, it would just read when enemies are close together. No, it could actually read when enemies or allies are close together. Because, I mean, you know, I wouldn't assume that anyone would read that and think that allies need to be next to enemies. I don't know. To me, at least, that wouldn't make sense. But to be honest, Bungie sucks at their wording with weapons anyways. Look at deconstruct. So, no matter what, we'll all probably be confused when the gun launches, or when, if. But either way, to reword its wording, when enemies or allies are close together, there is a chance to cause thunder strikes with the weapon. Now we get into the funky part of how to fucking word it. How do we word in a perk the stacking method and thunder strikes? Well, no, we didn't need to mention stacking, because Bungie doesn't really do that either. So, thunder strikes deal increased damage when enemies or allies are next together, and when amplified. Something like that. Because then that would tell you there's 3 different ways to gain a damage boost for your thunder strikes, which means, from reading it without using the gun, it would either mean 3 different ways to get high damage thunder strikes, or 3 ways to increase damage that possibly could stack 4 thunder strikes. Which, it would be stacking, because otherwise the gun would just deal better thunder strike damage by default, which I guess it could also do. It would kind of simplify things, I guess, but it would also slightly make it less exotic to a degree and just make it more of a primary Thunderlord. But yeah, I think that works for the rework for Zalo's original trait. So now we get into the one that does lesser. What would the lesser perks be? I think the lesser ones would be the ones that aren't exotic, so not the intrinsic. But let's read. So rockets, let's see what Dragon's Breath. Rockets embed themselves in struck target and inject incendiary fuel that inflicts scorch. The longer this weapon goes without firing, the more fuel there is in a rocket. And then the other perk is igniting nearby targets partially replenishes fuel, and this weapon reloads itself from reserves upon going to max. So it's basically a more complex version of auto-loading. Ignitions and kills grant auto-loading at max. Yeah, I would say that that's lesser. So the intrinsic is Zalo Supercell. The other perk on the gun is what we need to figure out next, because for Zalo back then it was double kills, do we have ammo, and I keep forgetting what the other one was. Jeez, my throat is killing me because of game design talk. Or more accurately worded, I'm killing my throat. So let's see. What was it again, if you remember? Because I don't. I keep forgetting. Apologies. It was ammo and something else. I don't think it was reload speed. Because that wouldn't actually make sense now I think about it. But what was it? Zalo's first perk. Bullets and what upon double kill? I don't know why I keep always forgetting, but I do. Super energy. I feel like I keep forgetting the super energy bit because it's just so, like, not there for us in D2. But, so, we could scrap the ammo part, possibly, because then that would leave room for the exotic trait. Or maybe even do the opposite and have the super be the catalyst, but... So, ammo regen, it basically had subsistence and thresh combined into one perk. That's what it was. The secondary perks seem to go based off the intrinsic, so let's read a couple more exotics and see what that theme goes. Dealing damage to this weapon reduces your melee cooldown. This weapon gains increased damage from melee kills, and melee kills grant ammo, so it's Swashbuckler and Grave Robber combined. That's Monte Carlo, and that's actually a D1. You know what, Booth? Maybe it actually could be the same thing. Because Monte Carlo is literally, if you read Markov Chain, that's literally just Swashbuckler and Grave Robber combined. This weapon gains increased damage from melee kills and kills with this weapon. So either full stack at a melee kill or 5 kills, which is literally Swash. And then melee kills grant ammo for this weapon is literally Grave Robber. So, let's read some more just so I'm not only going based off of one thing. Desperation. Reloading after precision final blows or final blows with a cursed thrall explosion increase the rate of fire and improve stability and aim assist. So it's Desperado with multiple functions. So the theme of the second perks. Let's read a special too. What's conditional finality? And that's actually kind of too exotic, if I'm honest. Let's read a different special. Arbalest, maybe? Nope, Arbalest is literally just Disruption Break. So, nope. Well, actually, wait, no, that's a special with... No, never mind. That actually just proves the point even more. So, I think we actually don't even have to overthink that, because Markov Chain is literally 2 perks, and Necrochasm is a perk that's enhanced, and Arbalest is literally just a perk. So no creativity to it. So honestly, whatever that was back then, I think could be the same thing. It was just based off of double kills, so every 2 kills. So it was still kind of specific. Instead of Subsistence, where it's every kill, and every kill for Thresh, it's 2 perks, but for double the work. So you gain bonus super energy and bonus, what's it called, based off that. I think that works, especially since Ionic Traces already happen based off of arc stuff and fragments. So you wouldn't really need to worry about ability regen so long as you were using stuff that can proc Ionic Traces. Hell, that could also be a Catalyst idea, even. So let's see. So far, the gun pretty much remains the same, except Zalo Supercell replaces the chain reactions, or chain lightning, for... That's hilarious to watch. That's really funny to watch. So... It gets a double kill Subsistence Thresh for its, like, miniature perk. Its exotic perk is Zalo Supercell, that when enemies or allies are close together, they have a chance to have a Thunder Strike upon them, or Lightning Strike. How does it word it for... Where's Thunderlord again? And Cloud Strike. I actually haven't viewed that once yet, which I should probably do before I forget again. Cloud Strike. Precision final blows generate a lightning bolt. Rapid precision hits create a lightning storm at the point of impact. What's the difference between a lightning storm and lightning bolt? Is it a storm grenade? We're not doing anything here. We have the checkpoint, so do you mind bringing us over to the Nessus while I'm reading? Yep. I heard my echo. Do you mind bringing us over to Nessus? Cistern specifically? Because I'm going to test something. Lightning Strike. So there's Lightning Strike, Lightning Bolt, Lightning Storm. All different terms. Thunderlord is consistently Lightning Strike, though, so I would probably say Lightning Strike would be... Actually, yeah, no, we don't need to go to Nessus unless you want to bring us there anywhere. We're not really doing anything here anyway, so... Okay, cool. So Lightning Strikes is what it would be called then. And then Cloud Strike would just be reworked so that it would either say that Lightning Storm and Bolts cause Lightning Strikes, or they would just rework them into Lightning Strikes. They could also do vice versa, but honestly I feel like Lightning Strike sounds better than Lightning Bolt or Lightning Storm. Especially since Storm sounds a bit AoE like, heavy compared to strike. Yes. So let's see. So lightning strikes would be the verb name, so... Enemies and allies standing close together can generate lightning strikes from final blows of the weapon when amplified, or when enemies or allies are standing close together. Lightning strikes cause an increased amount of damage, or something of that wording. Okay, so the only thing we changed is adding lightning strikes instead of chain lightning, and it has increased damage than normal, because lightning strikes would balance out compared to whether it's an ability or a weapon type or ammo type. So that's all good. So technically it could get up there. I don't know what they would do for the damage again, kind of like with Volt Shot. I'm not sure how that works in terms of damage, especially since Volt Shot doesn't have any damage increases, but that's the groundwork of it. I'm not sure how high the damages would go. I'm curious as to how high they would want it to go, because, I mean, obviously, if all of them have different damage types, I can't imagine they would want a primary dealing heavy ammo Thunder Strike damage like Thunderlord. Actually, yeah, no, they totally wouldn't. They would negate Thunderlord's use, even if not fully, because of stuff like Actium War Rig, Transversives, Autoloading, and its Catalyst. The fact that it still can make ammo, it would still negate its use, even as an ad clear thing, so it would still need to be balanced out as a primary. So probably the max amount of damage it would do is anything in the special ammo category. Maybe aside from Cloud Strike, because it's a sniper rifle. But either way, it would still have an increased amount of damage, so they would be better than normal primary light Thunder Strikes, or Lightning Strikes. So... okay, so we have the groundwork for that then. We have the exotic perk, we have the intrinsic. So, intrinsic literally being double kill subsistence thresh, and then enemies standing close by, allies standing close by to you, and then being amplified or not, being a stack that increases Thunderstrike damage and is also a method of causing Thunderstrikes. Which makes it so that you don't actually have to be on arc for this either to cause Thunderstrikes. You'll just have less damage and less stuff, so it still works better as a team play. Which also makes it better than Lumina, because Lumina literally is just a fancy exotic hand cannon that does 40% more damage to red bars. It is completely useless solo. So even this would have more exotic, like, potency solo. It's just, it would get outshined immediately by stuff like Risk Runner, so... and Centrifuge. But either way, we're not concerned about the solo players with this, considering they already have Risk Runner and Centrifuge. You already have your options. So that would work great for team play then. I think as for how many, considering it works off of double kills for the first thing, I think for allies it could probably work the same, considering, you know, otherwise you wouldn't be able to use it unless you're doing raids. So it'd work like firing line, or it'd work like firing line in terms of amount of players, so 2, but it would work like ensemble in terms of vicinity. Or maybe it could work like firing line in that way too. I mean, you'd have to be super close, I guess, so maybe it would depend. No, probably ensemble would be safer, because I mean, even though in GMs and stuff you usually are still close together as a team, it's not like you would want to be DPS phase type close all the time with an auto rifle. So probably ensemble for distance, and then for players it would be firing line, so you would need 2. Which means it would be less useful in 2-man activities, but that's whatever. That's also very specific, like solos are. That way it's also random friendly, because, you know, randoms aren't going to give a fuck about using firing line, so good luck having 5 meters worth to proc it. Yeah, no, ensemble would be the better idea, 15 meters like Dart Detector. Okay. So we have that in the work. So I think that actually works really well. What's your opinion on that? Do you think that's something that would interest you over Risk Runner in certain situations? If it's anything close together and stuff, yeah. Okay, cool. So now we get to have the creativity of the Catalyst. I think the easiest one is still just having it generate amplified on its own, because that means even for solo players, again, that buffs solo players, so that you can have buffed Thunderstrikes even as a solo player. So I think that needs to be a given. Because then, even though it still has Centrifuge and stuff to compete with, it makes it a viable option, if anything else, which, you know, is nice. Because the thing that this thing will do good is add clear, but also single target damage, because that's what people use Thunderstrikes for on things like Cloud Strike and Thunderlord. So it'd be a good mix. The higher your damage, the better you're able to deal higher damage than normal against targets like majors and mini bosses. Maybe not stuff like champions, but you know. But that way it'd be a good backup. Kind of like how people will choose to run Vorpal on a primary. So it'd be similar, if not better, on that type of level. Or even Volt Shot on a primary to some degree, because I know people use Volt Shot for stunning champions, so this could be similar in that effect. Just without the overload status, unfortunately so. So yeah, I think Final Blows granting Amplified, at least with a Thunderstrike, would be a good idea, because then it also works together. Hi, we're game designing. Whenever they get back, possibly, yeah. Hopefully. Because I know... Well, that does defeat the purpose, but it also does, depend on if everyone will be on, too, because I know you might get off, like, for sleeping and all, Ronan. But I don't know how long you plan on staying up. But no, we're just game designing right now. I don't either. I agree. But, no, right now we're just game designing. We're talking about Zalo Supercell and how Bungie could possibly bring it back. Because the thing is, Zalo Supercell, when you think about it, is already in the game. What do you think of Zalo Supercell when I talk about D2, Ronan? What's the thing that'll first pop into your head? Arc AK-47. Oh, shit, you're right. Okay, so Zalo Supercell... Zalo Supercell on Double Kill generated ammo and super energy. Its intrinsic exotic perk, Zalo Supercell, the name of the gun, was... when enemies are standing close by together, probably, if I were to guess, either 2 or 3. Probably 2, but, you know, either way, we'll say 2 for example reasons. When they're standing close together, it causes a chain lightning effect. Think of Risk Runner. So, spoiler alert, Risk Runner is basically the new Zalo Supercell, but with damage resist instead of super regen, and infinite ammo instead of partial ammo on taking arc damage, instead of having enemies bunched together. However, even though there's Risk Runner in the game, and even though there is now Centrifuge in the game, which makes it so that there's not only Zalo's abilities in the game, but an actual arc auto, there's still a way for them to bring it back as an arc weapon rather than reworking it, because Booth and I also came to the conclusion that if they were going to rework it completely, the only element that would probably work, considering it literally was lightning-based in D2, like the ornaments, the design of the gun, like everything, the only way they'd really be able to bring it back is making it stasis, because arc and stasis kind of go together semi-well in terms of like how the elements look to some degree, and kind of how they function, considering Bungie has stated multiple times to the community, it's not ice. So, I think that that would be the best if they were going to do an elemental rework, which I also thought of an idea for, just not as in-depth as this, because I really wanted Arc to work. So, essentially... Hi? Oh, okay. So, what Booth and I thought of after, like, pretty much what's been, like, an hour and a half, if not slightly longer, of game design talk, is the first ability would stay the same. I don't know what it was called, but basically think Subsistence and Thresh, only you need double kills to proc it for what I imagine would be about double the benefit. Maybe not even, considering Subsistence is probably better than what Zalo had back in the day, if not the exact same. And then for Thresh, I kind of hope that actually would be a buffed, because nobody uses Thresh. But yeah. Think of Subsistence and Thresh, but instead it's only procced on double kills. And then for its exotic trait, we figured that can stay the same, but we replace the chain lightning effect that it used to have with thunder strikes, or sorry, lightning strikes, which is what Thunderlord does, and also what Cloud Strike does. It's just Cloud Strike has different names for it. It says Lightning Bolt and Lightning Storm, but for Thunderlord, it'd be Lightning Strikes. And along with this, we also thought it'd be cool, since the best time to release it would be the same time they're releasing other D1 reworks, which would be the final shape. We noticed that Arc has 4 verbs tied to it. It has Blind, Ionic Traces, Amplified. Speed Booster doesn't technically count as one in my opinion, and even if it does, it is the bottom of the barrel of them, considering it literally is amplified after it runs out. And then there is, yeah, you're good. What's the other one I'm forgetting? Jolt. So there's 4 and there's 5 if you count Speed Boost, but I don't think it counts, considering everywhere I looked on the subclass tree never even mentioned Speed Boost at all. If it did, then I must have missed it, but yeah, no, it's not there. So yeah, we'll go with 4 for now. If it's 5, then oopsie, but we also figured out that since the addition of Fire Sprites and Void Breaches, Solar and Void have 6. They have 4 buffs, and they have 2 debuffs. Strand has 6, with, I think, 3 and 3. Either that, or it's also 4 and 2. Stasis is still stuck at 5, with 2 buffs and 3 debuffs. Arc is the only one not counting the Speed Booster, with 2 and 2 at 4. So it's the lowest, even though it's also a light subclass, which was before, you know, what's it called? And also reworked after Stasis, so go figure that one out. So we figured that along with this coming back to make the exotic special, and also to give innately a buff to Chaos Reach, Thunderlord, and Cloud Strike, Lightning Strike's becoming a arc verb. Basically, think of Ignitions, but, you know, for arc. So it would add an arc debuff, which would make it 2 and 3, just like Stasis. And 3 and 3 if they count Speed Booster, because I'm pretty sure that's a buff since Amplified's a buff. Anywho, the way to proc this verb on anything, like class-based, I actually forget if we agreed on that yet, so we might have to come back to that. But I think we agreed that you have to be amplified for it, or it might be amplified in something else, because, yeah. We'll probably have to come back to that one. But anyway, that would be a new verb to go along with the gun. So not only would Zalo make a return and have a replacement of Chain Reaction like it used to have and Risk Runner now has, but Lightning Strikes, now both Thunderlord, Cloud Strike, and Zalo would all be different ammo types, special, primary, and heavy, that all deal a new verb damage type, Lightning Strike, along with Chaos Reach. So it'd be a buff for Chaos Reach, which no one would complain about. But in any case, you're probably still wondering what makes the thing special, considering Risk Runner has damage resist as well. So, considering Risk Runner has a lot of solo potential and just really good potential cleared already, and then Centrifuge is add clear with blinding, so that if it doesn't kill, it at least negates everything from killing you, and it's mobility based. What we did is instead have it so that there's different ways to buff the lightning strikes to deal damage. Nothing like Thunderlord, because otherwise it would be Thunderlord on a primary literally, and that's just unhealthy game design. But it would buff it enough to where if you were using Risk Runner and were able to cause a lightning strike, for instance, you would still want to use the exotic over Risk Runner in this case. So the ways to buff it, back then for dealing the chain reaction, enemies had to stand next to each other, like I explained. 2 enemies, we'll say. So instead, we gave it 3 stacks to deal more damage. The 3 ways are, you're either amplified, and you have 1 stack, 2 stacks if you are amplified and are close to teammates, so kind of think of it like static electricity being close together, and then the 3rd stack being the old way Zalo used to work, if enemies are standing next to each other. So if you have all those 3 requirements, you have the max amount of stacks and the max amount of damage for your lightning strikes. So how's that sound as a rework to you? Does that sound like something you would use over Risk Runner in some cases? Well, yeah, but that's why it's such a tough competition. I mean, that's why me and Booth have literally been talking about it for almost 2 hours, because it's not an easy rework. I mean, there's a reason why Bungie hasn't even discussed bringing Zalo back, because there's an auto rifle that's arc and exotic, and then there's Risk Runner, which does what Zalo does to most degree already. And it's an SMG, so it's pretty much a close-range auto. So that's why we've been here for so long, but I feel like that still gives it some edge over it, because it makes it more of a team-based exotic. Sure, technically Risk Runner works in team environments, but it's not buffed by being in a team environment. This weapon would be buffed by being in a team environment in the fact that your lightning strikes, so long as your arc especially, would always be dealing at least 2 stacks worth of damage, and you would also be dealing a lot more damage to single targets with a primary weapon, like majors or mini-bosses and champions. It still wouldn't be anything like Thunderlord or whatnot, but considering Quicksilver Storm's grenades can chunk champions by themselves, I feel like it's fair to say that the Thunder Strikes could deal similar damage, since you need teammates amplified or enemies standing next to each other. Which actually might not even be a buff in some cases versus single targets. Because unless they're just conveniently standing around, then, you know, that's 1 less stack. But yeah, that's what we thought of. The only thing we haven't thought of is what the verb Lightning Strike does exactly, because obviously it needs to do something on its own without the gun to be a verb. And then the other thing we have yet to think of is the Catalyst, but we kind of have that sorted out as well, similar to how we know that Lightning Strikes would have to involve Amplified to some degree. The Catalyst would be similar to Djirus or whatever it is, the Hive Boomer Cannon, where getting final blows via lightning strikes cause you to be amplified. So it'd basically be this recycling effect where amplified causes lightning strikes, or at least extra damage for lightning strikes, but lightning strikes also can grant you amplified. Or at least final blows of them, I mean. So that's what we thought for the Catalyst. As for anything else with the Catalyst, I'm not exactly sure it'd need anything, aside from maybe to help it stand out a little bit more. But aside from the, like, final blows part of it, that's the part we'd still kind of were thinking on. But I feel like that's somewhat of a fair rework. Because imagine it in GMs. I mean, Risk Runner's good in GMs, but the thing that it lacks when it comes to GMs is damage to some degree. Most of the damage relies on the fact you're fighting stuff that's firing arc. First off, with this gun, you don't need to have things that are using arc to affect you. And then as far as the weapon itself goes, you don't need to be arc, it just makes the gun better, which you could argue the same exact thing for Risk Runner. Though, I guess, I'll stay in the raid. I will say this, I'll argue that without the Catalyst, though, arc would be more recommended. elite art. I swear to God, if he's doing a fucking... Dude, he is so desperate with old raids, I feel like it's the only reason he joined the clan back. He doesn't post about it. That's what annoys me most. Invites. It was the assholes you were talking about, the guys who were just, like, being dicks to you. But, yeah, I don't understand that at all. But as far as the Zalo goes, without the Catalyst, it'd be recommended to be on Arc, but it wouldn't be necessary. However, it would, with the Catalyst obtained, it would become optional at that point, because then as long as you can cast one Lightning Strike, then you'd be fine. So the only way you'd be able to do it with all the requirements gone, which would be you not being on Arc and you not being with teammates, aka solo, is you'd have to rely on enemies to be close together, which is literally what old Zalo was anyways. So the nice part about the exotic trait is that it would fully retain its old Destiny glory at all times, whether you're solo or team or on Arc. Plus, it would also be more useful than some exotics that are already team-based. Because, like, Lumina, for example, is just an exotic hand cannon with no perks if you use it solo. You need an ally to get use out of Lumina, or else it's complete shit. But yeah, that's the rework we basically came up with. The only thing we'd adjust is really just the Catalyst. And that's just to add something on. So, what do you personally think of it with all that explained? Thanks. I've never gone this hard on detail and stuff like this before. Like, I plan on making... I don't know if I'll make a video on it, but I'll at least make a post and have screenshots and proof of it, so it's, you know, if for whatever reason I end up caring about the credit, then, you know, credit shall be given, hopefully. But that's also if they even do anything. But my hope with this is that either A, they take the idea and make it, which would honestly be the biggest hope, because that'd be awesome to say that I'm the reason, like that Booth and I are the reason that this came back. But I'd also just be fine with it coming back, even if it was different. Like, if they looked at my idea, or, sorry, our idea, the Boot spaced out a couple of times, and also I just used my's and I's for simplicity. But either way, the idea in general, it would be cool just because of the fact that it means that they looked at it and took inspiration from it at the very least, even if it wasn't the exact, you know? So, I'd be fine with either or. But yeah, that was basically my TED Talk on Zalo Supercell as a rework. The only thing that we have yet to, like, fine-tune would be the amplified and, well, not amplified, but the lightning strikes. Because I do think that that would be a nice thing to add on for Arc, to give it another verb. Especially if they plan on adding more fragments or aspects to the light subclasses in Final Shape. At least those three in particular. Though, granted, if it's aspects, it would only be for Hunter. So, I'll just stick to the simple route of fragments for now. But, you know, I think that would be kind of cool. All I'm trying to think about is how Amplified and Lightning Strikes would work. I think the simplest way, in my opinion, I think, is to have it be the exotic trait kind of be the verb as well, just a little bit more heavy in requirements. So, like, instead of having the option of and or with enemies close together, allies close together, or being amplified on the exotic, you would need to be amplified in order to cause lightning strikes at all, and then you would either need to be near allies or have enemies near each other. Because that way solo players can use it, so long as they're using Arc. At least the Thunder Strikes, I mean. But, you know, that makes sense. Most verbs you use with things. Like, you can cause ignitions without... Actually, no, that's a bad example because you can technically do it. What's something you can't do? Like solo... No, I guess there's destabilizing rounds technically in Repulsor Brace, but that's not from your abilities. Either way, if there is a possible way to do it, or impossible way, it'd be very difficult to do it solo, is the only thing. But, solo without being on the subclass, but that's what verbs are. Obviously, proccing Repulsor Brace without being on Void is, like, super difficult if you're not rocking the Fragment for it, for example. Which is why they could probably make a Fragment that solves that issue as well. So... but yeah, that's essentially what I thought of for it, is the verb perk is a more restriction-heavy version of the exotic perk to make it so that people need to be on Arc for it to happen. Because otherwise, you could be not on Arc, like on Solar, and run Risk Runner and cause Thunder Strikes, which I think would be kind of busted when you're not running Arc. So... it makes it fair in the way that the exotic retains its perk and also does a better job at it, but at the same time, it gives the restriction of... it gives both restriction and levity. It gives restriction to other exotics that could abuse it, or legendaries even, with like Volt Shot on them, to make them even more powerful than they already are. But it also gives levity to the exotic and the fact that it can proc Thunderstrike solo even though other things can't. Kind of like how Conditional Finality can cause ignitions without you needing to be on Solar. So, yeah, but that's a whole new verb and a whole new exotic, so... what do you think of the verb? I asked you about the exotic already twice, so I won't ask a third, but what do you think of the verb Lightning Strikes? Considering it's technically already in the game. You think it'd be nice to have a Nation of the Beast hand cannon that... well, what's your favorite arc gun, actually? I'll ask you that. Like, legendary, I mean. Off the top of your head, any arc gun that's legendary. Purple. Yep. So, how would you feel if your Trinity... wait. I said legendary, dude. That's exotic. Name's Risk Runner next. Please? Okay. No, I said legendary. Oh my god. How did you screw that up twice? I'm just gonna say forbearance. I'm just gonna say forbearance. If you fuck it up again, I'm not humoring you. I swear to God. Okay, so we're going with forbearance since you clearly don't know what the difference between yellow and purple is. Oh, well that actually worked perfectly too. Imagine your loaded question not only doing Reservoir Burst, but also causing a Thunder Strike on the target you're Reservoir Bursting. It wouldn't exactly be too much, because like Volt Shot, it would be tailored to the damage of the gun, so in this case it'd be a fusion rifle, and it would only happen if you're on Arc. If you're not on Arc, no Thunder Strikes for stuff like Loaded Question. No Thunder Strikes for stuff like Trinity Ghoul, either. But if you are on Arc, you can occasionally get Thunder Strikes. Plus, that was another thing. Zalo's was a chance, actually. It was a chance to do Thunder Strikes, or Chain Lightning. So another thing for this that could make it better, for the verb, it would be a chance to do them, whereas for the gun, it's guaranteed. Kind of like how Thunderlord and Cloud Strike are as well. Because that way you can't go around with legendaries and just have lightning strikes all the fucking time either. But yeah, does that sound fun? A lightning strike loaded question with Reservoir? Just play Arc. Mm-hmm. A Sir Challenge of Crota? What is that? Why did you not just say Master? You said Sir. At least that's what I heard. Either that or all I heard was the stir part in Master. But yeah. But now I get what you mean. It's alright, we all are. What do you want to get either? That's the... Because it's not like there's guaranteed rolls anymore. I would just craft it, dude. What do you want on it? If you're about to say 1-2... Huh? I would just get it craftable, then. It's not too big a deal. Just once a week do a Crota. I'd be done. Okay, that's 3 weeks. That's not too bad. Plus, you know what you can also do? You could get a checkpoint for the first encounter and open the chest up every time as well. In any case, I'm willing to help you with that. I don't mind. Plus, wait, how much... Do you use your deep sight harmonizers? Oh, okay, never mind then. I would just do 1 per week, dude. I mean, we can do it if we get a good team. Or if you want to do that, but I would really just LFG a Crota once per week, and then boom, you can just craft it. Plus, it also just depends on the role you're going for. Because I'm gonna be perfectly honest, if you want a 1-2 punch shotgun, you would want a crafted one versus an adept anyways, because you're not going to get a use out of any of the adept mods. Like, the only one I would say you'd get use out of technically is big one spec, but since the shotgun's not dealing the primary damage, it's your melee because of 1-2, you wouldn't really get any use out of the shotgun as far as damage goes anyway. That'd be more for like if you were going for like surrounded subsistence as a role because of Cursed Thrall. Then I could see why you would want it adept to have big one spec, and even then I still wouldn't exactly see it just because of the boss damage part, but I would be able to get it more than 1-2 punch. 1-2 punch I'd rather just craft. Makes it simple on it for bonus handling, and also if you do inevitably get a kill with your shotgun, you're getting melee energy back for your 1-2 punch. So, but either way, that's up to you. I'm willing to help, just need a team that's good for Master is all, because I tried doing the same thing with the Root grenade launcher, regrettably so because the Trials one, and god, it was... Oof. Yeah, there's a difference between easy in general and easy for endgame content. Yeah, exactly, see? Because, like... Exactly. Mm-hmm. Yeah. I love all the gullible D1 players, or not even D1, because the one guy I talked to wasn't even a D1 player. I love all the gullible people before Day 1 Crota, like, oh, Day 1 Crota's gonna be easy, bro. Have you seen it? No. You're talking about different people. I'm talking about the ones who were like, dude, Day 1 Crota, gonna be so easy. Look at all the D1 videos, bro. People solo this shit for fun. It's like, you are out of your mind if you really think they're gonna just keep the raid the exact same. One person I talked to even thought they would keep the glitch, where you pull your router. I'm like, you really think they're gonna keep a glitch that just cripples the boss for a day one? Good luck. Agreed, if I was Crota, I would personally be making the lives of everyone who thought the raid was going to be that easy as D1 way harder. I'd make the Witness look like the least worry in the world. Yup. Sure. Weren't you the one that died by Crota a bunch? Mm-hmm. That just proves our point more. You fell for my trap. I like how while we've been waiting here, Booth, I got my Dragon's Breath Catalyst done. Golgoroth's actually a really good farm for guns. The amount of Thrall and Acolytes to spawn right off the bat, there's like 50 of them. And then you also get raid banners. Dragon's Breath, go. I did it too! Don't worry, it'll only take an hour. It's really, though. I wonder if we actually... Dude, his health is actually going down on the bar. Hold on. I want to get, like, a noticeable chunk. Deadass. Oh, fuck, I need to res you, because otherwise we wipe. Maybe you should switch to a Dragon's Breath like me. Dude, you... Wait, so was a bubble popped? But wait, no, a bubble couldn't have been popped. Look at the totem, only one thing is down. That's one failed damage phase. Now he's immune! Okay, well now I'm super confused. I don't know, but we dealt damage. Look at the bar, you can even see it. That's hilarious. I don't know how we keep that glitch up forever, but depending on how we do, that's how you solo Golgoroth, everybody. Just click subscribe to my YouTube channel, make sure to comment on my YouTube. Deleting this YouTube live after this. Actually, fuck, no, I'm not. No matter how cringe that one just was. Because there's no way I'm gonna remember all the detail we just put into fucking Zollies, or Zollos. So, hard not doing that. But hey, that technically means that it's already on a video. I just need to make a video that's not fucking 5 hours long with that now. Or a forum page or whatever. I forget. It might be enemy of my enemy, actually. Yeah, I think that is what it... I'm pretty sure. Because for War Priest, I think it's Into the Void. For War Priest, I think it's Into the Void. You're dealing damage again? What's he look like? Is his like, gaze up? So... That's funny. That's funny. You have 6 rounds. So that video I talked to you about a long time ago, because I remember I told you someone sold Golgoroth, and you're like, no, they'd have to be hacking. So that video, this is how they did it then. They just waited for gaze to pop up and then did weird damage stuff that's not normal. Well, yeah, no. It depends. I'd have to go back and look at the video, but it's possible that they did the orb, because even if they didn't do all the well, no. Because the thing is, if they do all the orbs and then they fail at 1, doesn't it mean that's 5 on the totem board then? With Sentinel Shield? Okay, so maybe I just misremembered some details then. Still, interesting. And now I have Catalyst on Dragon's Breath. Where's my Xeno Catalyst, Bungie? Where is my Xeno Catalyst? I want that for Final Shape. What was this season? Thorn? I want Final Shape be Xeno. Nah, but I'm super happy about the whole Zalo and Thunder Lightning Strike thing. I totally think it's something they could do. Will they? Have no fucking clue. Could they? Yes. But I would love that. Have my electric AK back. That was fun, but I need to get dinner sorted out and also do stuff other than that, so I guess I'll just sit here AFK in the raid until it kicks me out. But yeah, I'll be back, and if I'm not on mic or anything, when they get back, just text me then.